Hey guys, welcome back to the Cool Classic Kids Show, and today we're talking about SBI because we know who the co-founder is of Sweet Baby Inc. Guys. Obviously the first being Kim Belair, but we know the other person, and it's so stereotypical. It's so ridiculously stereotypical, and let's just make fun of this this soy-faced, white guilt, self-hating loser. Oh man, like you could just see it. What? It's such a stereotype at this point. It's always some white guilt, fucking soy-faced, hasty-looking motherfucker, and Canadian. And you know what? It sucks. It sucks because I have quite a bit of Canadian viewers, so shout out to you guys. But you guys probably know better than me that Canada is the redheaded stepchild of North America. And it's not even close. It's sad to say. It's really not even close. We complain in America about a lot of authoritarian rule. But in my opinion, I'd rather stick with what the trash that I got here as opposed to Canada and their blatant authoritarian edict. And we know so much about Sweet Baby Inc. at this point that really they can't dispute it, so they're just going to, outright call us all sorts of names. They were conspiracy theorists, but nobody cares. Nobody cares because at the end of the day, we just want you the fuck out of our entertainment. That's really what it boils down to at the end of the day. But just to get into this, the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., this soy-faced, self-hating loser, posted on his LinkedIn page, because apparently, him and his company are feeling the heat, as they should. Nobody cares anymore. Our entertainment is going to shit. It's hard to actually be able to get a break from the immense social pressure that we're dealing with in modern day. It's in everything. It's in television. It's in film. It's in video games. It's in every conceivable piece of entertainment, and people are sick and tired of it. We're upset. We're annoyed. We're frustrated. We're tired of rolling our eyes at the constant pandering, at the constant attempt to just shove political nonsense into video games with this specifically. But the difference between me and some other people, that I agree with, but unfortunately fly off the handle and make us look like the leftist SJW losers that we make fun of. I will keep my cool, and I will be stoic about bringing the issues to light. But to continue, David here says, for the past 4 months, my company, Sweet Baby Inc., has been targeted by a far-right harassment campaign / conspiracy theory. And the first thing I could say to this, consider calling it far-right is so disingenuous. There's so many people that naturally just side with keep the pandering, keep modern day political ideology the fuck out of our video games. People are sick of it. And this isn't just a right-leaning thing. Really, there's sane leftists that are also sick of it. People just want a break, man. People stop busting people's balls at the end of the day. So to call it far right at this point, where so many people who I don't know their political lean personally, but I would think probably wouldn't call themselves right-leaning or conservatives or whatever have you that falls under the right moniker. There's a lot of them that I follow on Twitter that definitely agree with the same sentiment and even are pushing for the companies like this to get out of gaming because we don't want it, period. And then he also goes into a harassment campaign. People just simply they literally just listed what Sweet Baby Inc. was working on, which is listed on your own website. And one of your employees sought out to start a harassment campaign against the person that created a curated list on Steam. So to say that it's harassment is simply just projection. You have not acknowledged that your worker, Chris, had openly started a harassment campaign on Twitter against a Steam curator page, and the creator of the Steam curator page You will not acknowledge that. You are a liar. And really, we're just sick of the lies and the nonsense. And lastly, conspiracy theory. Look, man, people have put all the dots together. There is actual proof out here that not only are you, influencing video games in a way that the general gamer does not want. You have it up on your website, but there's actual proof that you're connected to other companies that are funding you. There's proof that you're actually funded by the Canadian government. All this stuff, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is just simply you trying to discredit people that have put the dots together. And really, you just don't want to be up front. You'd rather stay in the shadows. This is a creepy organization, okay? From the logo being what it is, to the name of the company, to the fact that you're very, very, very shady and hide what you do. And when exposed to light, you're screaming, they're against us. Oh my God, they're against us. They're so evil. They're so bad. No, that's not how it works, okay? The real evil people are the ones that work in the shadows. But let us continue here, man, because this is a tough situation for me, my co-founder Kim Belair, our entire team, and our collaborators. More than the frustrations caused by the harassment and the precautions we're putting in place as a result of that, the toughness comes from the fact that this entire campaign is based on misinformation. Misinformation is wild and left field, or right field, I guess, that it's impossible to even engage with it to combat it. The reason why you can't combat your nonsense being brought forth into the light is because the mass majority of gamers, when presented with the information around your company, naturally reject it. Of course, you're going to have those, leftists, really like down for the cause losers that actually think that this pandering is genuine and not for probably some BlackRock money or something or other. You're always going to have those, but those people are always in the small degree. When you present a group this information, they're always in the small degree of the gamers that actually side with your nonsense. And here we just have more lies, more deceit, more we are the victim, even though you guys essentially took an authoritarian position to try and really just remove someone that simply just gave out some information and that caught traction. And perhaps, man, if you don't like the response that the people you are cultivating this content for, if you don't like their response because the response is we don't want you, then that says something about, well, your business and how it isn't really desired. And really, at the end of the day, it's not Sweet Baby Inc.'s place to step away. It is the companies that hire Sweet Baby Inc. to say, oh, well, this isn't wanted by the people that give us money for content. The consumers that we make video games for. They don't want this, so we don't need you, Sweet Baby Inc. They don't want to come to that conclusion, and we shouldn't stop until they eventually do come to that conclusion, because that is the only conclusion. The mass majority of us don't want this, and it's time for the companies, the game developers, the game publishers that hire companies like Sweet Baby Inc. to say, oh, this is not wanted by the people that keep our freaking lights on, and we should make a change. That's what needs to happen. And I don't think any of us are going to really just let this go by the wayside until that happens, until they realize we do not want political pandering in our video games. We don't want disingenuous nonsense. We want good stories. We want good characters. We want actual talented people to make these stories to work. So I don't have to play a video game and have to deal with either one or two or sometimes many segments in which I'm rolling my eyes or making fun of how ridiculous some of this DI bullshit that's put into our game for ESG scores. And then they continue. So we spoke with press to clear things up about exactly what we do and how we do it. Adding our voices to this conversation felt necessary because what is happening to us is something that has happened before in this industry and will happen again. It happens not just us, but also to countless other devs, players, journalists, and creators. This always happens to people that wish to invade the gamer space and do things that we do not want. You are not, if you were just a developer team in your own right, you made your own video games, and they were this nonsense that nobody liked. I mean, you just wouldn't sell games. At the end of the day, your company would close on its own merit. But you know, at least it's just this one developer. No, you're spreading your fucking miasma garbage onto many games. And we don't want it. That's the simple reality of it. And yes, you can't stand on your own feet, so you had to go to all these journalists, game journos who have no credibility at all amongst the gamers. And clearly they are in favor of your bullshit, and nobody cares. You're just going to these outlets, and maybe you're unfortunately influencing some of these higher ups at these gaming companies because they're so disconnected from what gamers actually want that they'll actually listen to this nonsense. But the gamers don't buy it, and the gamers don't care. You can try and defend yourself in this space, but everyone knows that the only reason, the only thing that you're doing here is trying to cover up. That's it. You're trying to cover up, and you're trying to act like what you're doing. It's actually not a bad thing at all. You're definitely concealing or trying to, I guess, put a fresh coat of paint over your nonsense. But nobody cares. Nobody's going to have their minds changed. More people are going to know about you. And the more people know about you, the more people will oppose your nonsense. I said, everyone who has reached out to me with kind words of support has also asked me what they can do to help. And it took me a while to find an answer to this question, but I think I finally know this is what you can do to help. Check in on your marginalized colleagues and friends in this industry. Make sure they're okay. Let them know that they are loved and they are appreciated and that they are welcomed and that they are talented. Tell them not going to let this kind of hate push them out of the industry. And nobody wants to push these people out of the industry if you be for any group, really. We just want you to be good at what you do. It's really that simple. There doesn't have to be a particular subset that you belong to, if it be for the color of your skin, what you identify as. Nobody, in the grand scheme of things, nobody cares. Nobody wants to know. Matter of fact, the less we know about the video game developers, the better. We don't want to know about you. We just simply want you to make fantastic content. And if it happens to be from for example, Black woman, and it's awesome, I'm down for it. It happens to be from a transgender person, and it's awesome, I'm down for it. I just don't want to know more about you and figure out that you're just inserting yourself into a video game or a video game character, and it just being trash. You're not that interesting. Let's be real, you're not that interesting. None of you video game developers are that interesting with your your nonsense. We have all the memes out there. You guys aren't that interesting. You don't make for good video game protagonists or characters that we want to, experience the life of. You make video games. You sit your ass at a computer, or you draw something, or, whatever. You storyboard. You're not interesting. We don't want to know about you. We just want good content. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And you guys do not provide that. In the very least, there's some games out there that you guys are behind that's like, okay, this was relatively competent, but oh my god, there's this one section that's like, kind of know from what political side this came from. In the very least, that's what you guys include. It doesn't come off natural, and that makes it for terrible writing. And you guys don't want to accept that. You just want to chalk it up to everyone's racist, everyone's sexist, everyone's homophobic, everybody's xenophobic, all these istphobe terms. Nobody cares anymore. You can call us all these things, but guess what? We've heard it for how many years now? And how many years have you guys not been providing good content from your political leaning side? Nobody gives a fuck about being called anything. Either, you make good content or we just want you to fail. That's really what it boils down to. And if you're part of these political leanings and you're trying to shove all this nonsense, if it be, social, political ideology, gender ideology, global warming, which is a popular one that they're going to be talking about, the GDC, nobody fucking cares. Nobody wants it. Anyway. This guy goes on his whole pandering moment to try and save face and act like he's a white knight. This soy face loser. Always have to pretend to be the white knight. But yeah, guys, it never fails at these types. And just to continue to just show, shine the light on these people, we got the person who really got this popping off here, Chris, who continues to show their blatant disdain of gamers. Chris, who was the one that started this harassment campaign against the Sweet Baby Ink Detected curator group and the creator of that. They go on. Chris here goes on to say, gamers, be normal challenge. Impossible. Gamers, get a personality challenge. Unbeatable. Gamers find an identity outside of their consumption. God level difficulty. And why do you want to be in an industry that you make content for people you absolutely cannot stand? How many times, or even the content itself you can't stand, so you want to change it? How many times has this been done and it's not good? The first thing that comes to mind, J.J. Abrams with Star Trek. J.J. Abrams had said himself he hated the original Star Trek. And it's like, then I wonder why, Star Trek, his movies were more like Star Wars instead of being like OG Star Trek. Me as an OG Star Trek fan. It's because he hated Star Trek and he chose to change it. And to which it doesn't appeal to me as a longtime OG Star Trek fan. It was more like something like Star Wars, but masked as a Star Trek movie. And there's plenty of instances in which creators who genuinely hate said content or genuinely hate said people who like said content make it known in their work that they hate you or they hate this content, but yet they still keep getting work. It is ridiculous at this point, and we're sick of it. And you seem to be sick of it as well, so fuck off. And then we have Felix over here, who's been exposed for a lot of things, including being racist to many sides, not just white, but also black people too. But apparently those tweets got deleted. But hey, man, if it's on the internet, it's on the internet, baby. And he said, Felix here says, I need to, and this was a retweet, mind you, from February. They went out of their way to retweet this relatively recently. And once again, shows disdain for the people that, well, their industry, their company is supposed to technically cater to, even though they don't see it as catering. They said, I need a new report category for is blaming me for something I had no part in, thusly perpetuating hatred against me that is frankly unrelated to anything I've ever done. For gamers who don't know how anything works, apparently. So apparently, to Felix, all the gamers are stupid. They know nothing. And they're hateful. And I should have a special report button just for me. Oh man, please get out of this industry. You don't like us. We don't like you. Peaceful divorce. Can we go for that? Otherwise, we're going to continue to shine light on the fact that you do hate us and the fact that, well, the gaming industry needs to say, well, you guys are unwanted you're going to potentially ruin our company or games that we have in development, and we need to get rid of you. We're not going to stop until that happens. So peaceful divorce would be nice, but either way, we are not going to stop. That's what it is. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitter or Kick if you'd like to continue the conversation. And guys, if you like this hat, I'm rocking my little logo, man. If you like this hat, in the description below, there is a link to my merch site. Plenty of merch there for you guys. Hoodies, t-shirts, hats, stickers, cups. If you guys want to check that out, definitely go ahead and do so. Two Reels for Feels podcast this Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. So definitely be there for that. And with all being said, I'm out. Peace.